There's a blessing in the storm. Help me sing it. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Of the day goes to actually you two. Don't get top commenter of the day because you were in here before I went live, and the rule is you have to come in when I go live, and you can get top commenter of the day. So excuse me, Tyreek is the number one commenter, and then you've got Aaliyah, and then you have Donnie. And of course, Kayla is in here, so she rounds everybody out. But those are the top commenters of the day. And if you want to get top commenter, don't. But the rule is I go live, and then you will be able to lock in your top commenter of the day slot. With all that being said, let's get into Monday Night Raw. Pretty mundane show compared to what we've been getting for the last couple of weeks. I've noticed quite a pattern with Triple H. The show before the PLE is always rather
mundane,
quiet, a little too quiet. It is always very, very, strategic. There are certain things that you and fights, but let's talk about what we did see. The show kicked off with none other than y'all favorite Yeet King, Jey Uso. And he came out there to basically tell everybody that he was going to be the victor in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He was then interrupted by Chad Gable, who also wanted to proclaim and stake his claim to the Money in the Bank ladder match and call himself the Master in the Bank, which I don't know about you, but it don't sound right. Hold tight, y'all. Let me fix something right quick, and I shall return. It's only going to take me 2 seconds, about a minute. Give me a minute.
Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't designed.
All right, y'all. So let's get into the rest of Monday Night Raw. As Chad Gable was staking his proclaim and everything that he talked about, he also made it very clear that he was not afraid of the Wyatt family. It was brought up by Jey Uso that he needed to be careful. Shouldn't he be more concerned with the Wyatt family? They seem to be having an unnerving attachment to him. To which he responds that he's not afraid of them and that he was like, listen, I ain't trying to get in with your ass. He was like, look, I told the Wyatt family I don't want no smoke with them. If they want the Fireflies back, they can gladly have them back. I don't want to be involved with nothing they got going on. I'm good. I'm not trying to be like your ass laid out in the back looking like I got shot. I ain't trying to look like that. I'm cool with where I'm at. You feel me? But he said, I will tell you what we are going to be. He said, in a few days' time, I'm going to be Mr. Money in the Bank, and I'm going to be whooping your ass in a ladder match. And Chad Gable, he ain't like that too much, so he attacked Jey Uso. This led to Chad Gable. The lights cut off. And we all know what that means. So each entrance and exit for the superstars was cut off. Stage left, stage right, center stage. all were cut off from Chad Gable by three different members of the Wyatt family. The last member of the Wyatt family that was actually there, that was in the ring, was, of course, you never plugged me up. I've been sitting here this whole time, but you never plugged me up. The last member of the Wyatt family, of course, was the female member of the Wyatt family who ended up giving Michael another tape. What I like about the tapes is that they help give you some insight into Bo Dallas's mind and where he is and why he's fractured the way that he is, which it makes perfect sense with him suffering the loss that he has, feeling abandoned and alone. He has also gathered others who have felt that way, who have felt lost and had no true sense of direction. And he feels that it is his mission to not only continue his brother's work, but to further his brother's work. With all that being said, Chad Gable ran his ass up out of there through the crowd, and he wasn't seen again for the rest of the night. Now, Pat was not at commentary ringside today, and that was mainly because he has some family issues. It seems something was going on at home with his wife and family, and he needed to be there, and that's where he's been. He is supposed to return next week, and everything's supposed to be right as rain. At least that's what we are being led to believe. But again, y'all have to remember that very soon college football is starting and Pat is gonna be gone. Now huh? I don't know how they're going to write him off script, if they're just gonna do it outside of kayfabe, or if they're gonna utilize the storyline of the Wyatt family to write him out. It's very possible, but I don't know if they would, and I don't think that they should. I think that's a lot, but Triple H loves to do some extra shit. So Vegas match was up first with Liv Morgan. It actually was a really good match between the two of them, and it gave Zelina Vega time to be able to showcase what she's truly capable of against an opponent who is equally matched to her, who she actually has more wrestling prowess than in Liv Morgan. Zelina Vega has a deeper moveset than Liv Morgan, and I really liked her match with Liv. I was not surprised, but I was just thoroughly impressed with what she was able to do in the ring with Liv Morgan. And there were too many counts where Zelina Vega could have definitely beaten Liv Morgan for that championship. But unfortunately, it's not in the cards for Vega to be champion at the moment. But we've all seen what she's capable of. And a lot of times, Triple H and the powers that be create scenarios and situations to showcase a superstar, to see where they are and what they are willing to do and how much they are willing to put into certain situations, opportunities, and matches. And I believe that for Vega, this was one of them. She wasn't served up to Liv Morgan, and this was a squash match. Liv Morgan had to fight for this win, and eventually the win wasn't because of her. It was due to her incessant obsession with Dominic Mysterio. Now, Dominic did come out there during the match, and so did Rey Mysterio. This led to the two of them going at it. Dom trying to put the chair in the ring, which he knows that this has not worked in the past, and yet he continues to rely on the same tropes and tactics. I wonder if he understands the definition of insanity. I don't think that he does. But with all that being said, loves, Dominic Mysterio cost Zelina Vega this championship match. With him throwing a chair into the ring and Vega putting it back on him, this allowed enough distraction for Liv Morgan to hit the Oblivion, and she was able to pick up the win against Zelina Vega. A hard-fought battle for Zelina Vega, but I promise you that this will not be the last time that she probably will be in title contingency. Zelina Vega has done an excellent job competing against the women's world champion, and I suspect that she will be getting more opportunities in the future. With that being said, loves, let's get to the next match that I can recall. It was Karrion Kross versus Xavier Woods. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not watch this match, not for Xavier's sake, but for the idea that I don't really understand what's going on between the three of them. I get Carrion trying to cause discord between the two to split them up, but he didn't really work that hard at doing it. He also didn't utilize that wedge that was between them and continue to push it. He just switched from being a cerebral assassin, as we would call Triple H, to just being a bruiser and just not having enough patience in his own plan for it to work. And then he started to beat them down. He beat the hell out of Xavier. Xavier didn't want to shake his hand at the beginning of the match. He took that as an insult and they started to fight. And he beat Xavier. And then as Xavier was getting beat up, AOP came in, of course, and was helping to do the beatdown. Kofi was able to thwart one half of AOP, and the rest of the guys were on the outside. And that's when Carrion came in, put Kofi in a hold, and basically, had him tied down for a very long time. He didn't stop until Scarlett, pretty much gave him the signal. And then he stood over him and he sat down in their faces and was like, "Do you want to shake my hand now, Xavier?" And it was just a very odd exchange between him and the New Day. I could kind of understand his attack on the New Day because he needs a victim, but he doesn't really give it any rhyme or reason. And I think that's the problem that I'm having with this whole aesthetic of the group. They don't do anything with any true, there's nothing backing them. There's no end game, at least to the point where you're like, okay, you want to dominate, but you're not going after the right people to dominate. You're not even going after people who are on TV regularly. Like, no shade to Kofi and Xavier. They're amazing and I love them. But if I were trying to be at the top of the mountain, the first thing I would do is take out the Judgment Day. They're a clear threat to your group. They are weaker now than they have ever been. Why wouldn't you go after them? God, it just seems like you don't really have any goals, and that just irritates me. To the tune of Noel, whore bells, whore bells, whore bells. Okay. She said, "I'm sick of your shit. I hope you get riptide." She also was using Dominic's moveset in that match with Zelina Vega, and she used Rhea Ripley's submission hold in that match as well. She tried. I'll say she tried to execute that move, but it wasn't really working out for her. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have the upper body strength that Rhea has. She seemed to be having a trouble holding Zelina up, and that's not because Zelina's heavy. It's just Liv Morgan don't have the upper body strength. It's simple. Anyways, let's get into the women's match. So we got this three-way to get into the final slot for Money in the Bank. And unfortunately, January 6th ass got in. And that was because of Alba and Isla. They decided to get their revenge on Dakota. And this ended up costing Ivy now the match. I said, damn, Ivy ain't catching strays and shit. She ain't even did nothing. You know what I'm saying? But Dakota and them kind of caused their own demise. Y'all got involved last week in Isla and Alba's match. Y'all attacked them on EO's order. And now, because it was your time to get something and it was at your discretion, you pissed and mad talking about I'm tired of people getting in Damage Control's business. Well, did you get mad last week when you attacked Alba and Isla after their match and then took out the two Disco Twins too? It didn't have nothing to do with you, bitch. That wasn't your business. You can't get mad when the shoe was on your foot, when your ass is out there wrestling and trying to get your bag, and then they come in there and tear your shit up. It's a whole different ball game for you then. But when you doing it, it's justified because it's Damage Control business. Bitch, fuck you. Okay? Now, listen, Alba and Isla, they healed, so they did what they were supposed to do. But, bitch, I'm coming for your neck, too. If you come in there and jump me and attack me, ho, don't come after after me if you ain't got the power to take what's coming after that. Your actions have consequences, bitch. We not playing this motherfucking game where you sit up here acting like you just, well, I'm tired of people being in my business. Bitch, they tired of you being in their motherfucking business. The fuck? Didn't nobody ask you to bring your bony ass out there last week and attack them girls? They was wrestling. They didn't ask you. They didn't call EO or Kyrie Sane's ass. They didn't ask for none of you hoes to come out there. Y'all came out there because EO tired of losing and getting her ass whooped every week. So you like, we got to show everybody damage control is still on top. No. What you need to do is take your ass back and go sit down. Okay? I hear catering has delicious cookies. Go get you one and shut the fuck up. Just back there talking madness. Anyways, them two hoes lost and January 6th hard-faced ass won. Y'all should see the render they got in the picture on Twitter. Y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Ooh, the photoshopping on that picture, honey, is wild. It's insane, child. I said, ooh. Oh, who did this to you? Who did it? Paula, please. Oh my God. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, girl. I'm gonna show you what she was looking like. She was, it was giving. I do not know how to put on makeup. My daughter put on my makeup for me. I said, and they put this out on the internet for everybody. They fucked Zoe's face up. They was like, bitch, you ain't got no makeup on, okay? We gotta hurry up. We gotta beat you up, honey. We need the beat. We need a full beat. Baby, they tore your face up with that extra makeup in the photoshopping. My God, you look like a damn whore. Oh my God, it's so funny. And she was dressing like Rhea too. I called it. She definitely had a shirt that said "Lives finally on top." It's just giving weird stalker vibes. Yeah, she got "Live is finally on top" shirt, and it's in a halter tops in a halter style, the way Rhea used to wear her old gear. I was just like, "Ooh, that's petty." I really thought they were gonna put Ivy Nile in the match. I honestly wanted Dakota to be in the match. I legitimately wanted Dakota to be in the match. All she had to do was mind her fucking business last week, and she might have been in the match. Now, if Alba and Isla had just attacked them out of the blue because they saw them as a threat, then I wouldn't be saying that. I'd be fully on Dakota's side. But bitch, you caused this. All you had to do was mind your fucking business. And them hoes would not have interfered in your match this week. Because they would have had no incentive to do so. You did that to your fucking self, dumbass. Child, they messed her face up in this damn render. I lost it when I saw this. As a matter of facts, 86 my comment calling me Kaiser Dumbo because that's an insult to Dumbo because Dumbo's actually cute. Who did that? Clutch and Pearl, baby, I don't know. Whoever did this should get a raise. They thought they was doing something. That poor baby face is tore up. Oh man. Hold on, y'all. So we got one more match to talk about. Like Raw didn't have a lot of matches, but it did have some really big long promos. Okay, so the next thing we got was the match between Dom and Rey Mysterio, which I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that because I don't care. These two fought. I will say the match was good. It wasn't a bad match at all. I expected nothing less because Dominic has been able to come into his own ever since, he has started wrestling. Every week he has improved and gotten better and better and better. And he is just a really good wrestler at this point. He is just very solid. I can't say nothing bad about his wrestling. But this right here is the end, was one of the parts of the match that he fell right on her. I will ride you like a rodeo. No, Rhea at home with Buddy Murphy laying on her butt like this is a whole kiki. Boy, I be at home. I be having Buddy Murphy on my ass every night, laughing my ass off at this shit. I be like, baby, you see this shit? Then he just look up like, yeah, that's crazy. And I be like, yeah, that's crazy. That's how I would be. That is how I would be, okay? But Liv ended up costing him this match. You would think with all of this shit going down that she would help him win, but nah. Because see, Zelina Vega had a motherfucking receipt, bitch, and she got that goddamn receipt on that hoe. Okay, now Liv thought she was helping when she got her stank ass on the apron, but Zelina Vega tripped that bitch off that damn apron, and that rope came down, and Dominic's tiny little got caught in the crossfire. This allowed for Rey Mysterio to hit his 619 in the corner, which I thought was really fucking dope. And then he hit him, with the cross splash, and that was it. It was a 1, 2, 3. And it was game over for Dominic Mysterio. This like the fifth time he done lost to his daddy in singles and tag team. Like he ain't beat his daddy in a match not once that I can remember. He probably has, but in no that I remember in recent history has he actually beaten his father. No. Mm-mm. And that's terrible. Now, the whole time they was walking to the back, Dominic Mysterio was pissed because he lost this fucking match. Now, Rhea Liv was trying to, apologize. She was like, please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. I was trying to help. And he was just like, leave me alone. Like, but he's not saying it hard enough. And that's the problem. Dominic is not making it very clear he doesn't want anything to do with her. And even if he does, Liv is going to keep pressuring, manipulating, and pushing. And she's already done got her claws into the rest of the Judgment Day members because she was able to secure the tag team titles for them. They have now been like, listen, because there's a whole discord going back and now where this seed wasn't even planted by Rhea, but she's been watering it. Okay. This seed was planted by Damian Priest. And to Finn's credit, Damian Priest has changed since he's gained the championship. He just has. Um, Not you trying to do blush. That's crazy. Everyone looks real close and cute, and then it's Zoe. I would say why, but motherfuckers get mad at me when I tell the truth. So whatever. I be trying to tell y'all her face hard, but nobody want to listen to me. That was almost as bad as her Judgment Day render when they smoked Zoe's eyes out so hard you could barely see her eyes. Ain't got nothing to do with me. She said, Alexa, play Pony by Genuine, period. So Damian Priest got called out by Seth freaking Rollins. Well, he didn't. Seth came out to talk his talk. Damian came out there, but first it was Finn who interrupted. Finn was out there and he seemed to be on some very petty, vindictive shit. He was like, everybody's changing. Raw's changing. Everything is changing. And even Damian Priest has changed. And I blame you. This is all your fault. And I was like, blah, 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 bullshit. And Seth is like, motherfucker, this ain't got nothing to do with you. You always find some kind of way to weasel your way into the conversation, but you're not the champion, bitch. So I have no qualms with you. I don't even need to talk to you. I've beaten you on multiple occasions. One arm and two. And yet here you are in my face talking about I'm the reason why Damian Priest changed. Nah, I know what it is. You mad because your homeboy is champion and you never could get the job done. Now, before Finn could respond or answer, Damian Priest came out there and was like, bro, like, relax, chill out, for real. He was like, now look, Damian Priest made it very clear that he wanted to do this on his own. He said, I didn't put words in that man's mouth. I'm not the one who said that he didn't need you and that y'all needed him. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was him. So if you mad at somebody, be mad at the motherfucker who said the shit. Don't come at me. Because you and I don't have no business at all. Child, when Damian Priest got out there, Damian was like, Seth, you keep talking about how this is your house and this Monday Night Rollins, but he was like, if you ask me, that's what's numbered, not my title reign. It's the days of you thinking you run this place, those are numbered. But you know what? Go off, King. Live your best life. I mean, you're going to live vicariously through somebody, so it might as well be me. Child. Once Finn started circling around, and at first, Seth was like, I know how y'all motherfuckers for day bitches roll. Y'all ain't finna jump me, because I swear to God, one of y'all gonna get a mic to the forehead, dead ass. Damian was like, listen, ain't nobody trying to jump you, bro. He was like, bro, my ass, I know how the fuck y'all roll, and I know how you act, and I know how you act. I ain't got time for it. I will bust your ass with this microphone, bro. Not playing with you. I will take your ass to the night water. No fucking qualms at all. Everybody gotta die. I'm not playing. Damian said, calm down. Nobody's trying to attack you. We not finna play this game. I told them I want to do this on my own, and I'm gonna do that. Now, of course, Finn didn't heed the message, and he attacks Seth freaking Rollins from behind while they're conversing. This ends up being an attack to which Damian pulls Finn off of him. Seth gets up and kicks Damian and Finn in the face. Now Finn goes out of the ring. Seth celebrates a little too early. It ends up with a choke slam for his efforts. Now Damian takes Seth to the back and offers to get him some ice, but it still seems the two men are not seeing eye to eye. Now, earlier in the night, Damian Priest went into his clubhouse with the homies talking to Dominic Mysterio because he's like, I talked to Rhea and Rhea is fucking pissed. Like, you need to fix this. And Dom is like, I'm doing everything I can. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm going to try to take care of it tonight. And he was like, you know what, Dom, you keep saying you're going to do shit, but you don't do nothing. And he was like, every time I turn around, this bitch is everywhere. And you keep entertaining her bullshit. If you don't want to deal with her, then cut that bitch off. Do it now. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Simple and plain. Oh, Dominic didn't want to hear that. And just like a typical child, like, oh my God, you sound like my dad. Jesus Christ. He was like, what you say? He was like, nothing. I didn't say anything. He was like, no, like, dead ass. Say what you said. Like, for real, to my face. Don't mumble underneath your like no punk ass bitch. Tell me what you said. Walking to the clubhouse, Liv standing in there while they playing the video game. Very bitch they supposed to be getting rid of, standing right there. She come in. Oh, hey Damian. Hi. I'm here, but I was just leaving. Got a match. Bye. Bye. Bye, Daddy Dom. Bye. Good luck on your match tonight. But bye. Girl, he was like, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? He was like, I'm finna take care of it tonight. Don't worry about it. Oh, he took care of it all right. He made sure Liv Morgan retained her championship. Meanwhile, Finn went up to Damian before he left back out and said, Finn, like, yo, boy, what's wrong with you? He was like, you changed ever since you became champion. He was like, he was like, you can say whatever you want to about Liv Morgan. But she did help us maintain and regain the tag team championships for the Judgment Day. Like, you act like that's not a good thing. He was like, I'm glad y'all got the titles, but she has no business being here. Not only is she a problem for Dominic Mysterio, but she is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why Rio is gone. And he was like, you know what? He's like, look, yes, I'm glad y'all got the championship, but I have a championship that I have to get too. And he's like, with me being champion, that also helps out the Judgment Day. He said, I got to stand on my own 2 feet. Here go Finn, mumbling and grumbling and talking shit. He was like, nah, you changed. And it's because of that championship. But it's cool, you know. It ain't back off. And they had a little kumbaya moment. But they still mad at each other. Now, later on, Chad Gable runs into Otis. Otis is back there in catering, eating and enjoying himself. And as soon as Chad walks up, he gets up to leave. Chad's freaking out and he needs help. And Chad says, listen, I know you don't want to see me. And I know you're upset with me because I was cruel to you. I was mean. I called you all types of names. And I'm sorry about that. But they seem to be after me. And I don't understand why. And I'm going to need your help. Otis was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not helping you. So then Chad Gable turned to manipulation. And he said, they're after me. But who knows who else they'll go after? Maybe they'll go after Maxine. Maybe they'll go after Tozawa. Maybe they'll come after you. You never know. But if we stick together, this might be a better way that they won't come after us. Think about it. Did Maxine and them show up? And of course, Of course, they show up, and then he's sitting there thinking, like, what if they come after them? The issue that the Wyatt Sick has with Chad Gable, if there is an issue at all, is that Chad Gable presented himself as a false prophet. He wanted himself to be seen as some, loving, wonderful family member, there for everybody, helping them out. But in fact, in all actuality, he allowed his quest for that Intercontinental Championship to corrupt him and just destroy his judgment, to the point where he was willing to dismantle, be disgusting and crude and rude to the people who he claimed he loved by humiliating them, disrespecting them in front of millions of people on a weekly basis, and treating them like trash. Also, he could be Intercontinental Champion like he claimed he deserved. If the Wyatt Sick is after him for those specific reasons, then they don't like liars. And they've made that very, very clear. And it seems that they are targeting him because of that. So they gave Sheamus, Drew, and Ilya vignettes tonight. Now, thank you. Appreciate you. I forgot my green onions. Ah, goddamn it. You okay? Yeah, hit my knee. Now, like I said, January 6th won her slot, and Drew McIntyre won his. I'm not going to even go over that part. I'm just gonna tell you he won because it's too long. It's not necessary to go over all that shit. When it was a long match, but it was a good match for Ilya specifically and for Sheamus. Everybody showed out and showed up, and it was fun to watch them wrestle. I will give them that. There was one more thing we saw, which was between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. They went back and forth about Braun going after him for that title and Sami, solidifying himself that he's going to maintain it and keep it. Braun decided to pretend like he was going to walk away and be done with it, but in all actuality, he turned around and speared Sami as hard as he could. Sami rolls out of the ring and stands on the outskirts, and of course, Braun Breaker pulling a Ludwig Kaiser, decides that he's gonna go and spear him into the steel steps. But this don't work out too well in his favor because he ends up going head first into them steps like an idiot. Sammy attacks, gets Brian Breaker on the ropes, but Brian Breaker is able to recover once they're inside the ring, and he hits him with another spear, and he stands tall. I've watched enough wrestling, and in my years of seeing that when they do this, they're not getting that championship. If he gets that championship at Money in the Bank, I'll be fucking shocked. I'm being honest. But I've watched too many times and I've seen this scenario way too many times to know that this isn't happening. I don't think that Braun Breaker is going to beat Sammy at Money in the Bank. With all that being said, Money in the Bank is Saturday on July 6th. Okay. Whoo, child. Saturday, July 6th is Money in the Bank. That Friday is SmackDown. And then that Sunday is NXT Heatwave. All of that this weekend is happening. We're going to have a big weekend. Plus, Thursday is 4th of July. If you're celebrating 4th of July this year, happy 4th of July. I hope you guys have a good time at your barbecues and cookouts and all that good shit. But as for me and my house, I think we're going to be chilling for 4th of July this year. With all that being said, loves, all right, Money in the Bank has several matches set up for the card, and there are only 5 of them at the moment, okay? The first ones that we're going to talk about, okay, is Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. So it seems Brian Breaker has set his sights on title and he has to have gold, and the gold he wants to acquire is Samuel's. Sammy is going to fight to the death to keep that damn championship. He's not going to give it up easy. So this is going to be an interesting fight between these two men. It's going to be long. It's going to be brutal. And I think Sammy's going to get beat up for majority of it. But I think in the end, Sami Zayn will win and still be your Intercontinental Champion. At least he'll be there for now. Moving into non-title matches that are at Money in the Bank, it is the 6-man tag team match between the Bloodline and Randall, Cody, and Kevin. Now, the Bloodline has been vicious these last couple of weeks towards any and everybody that they have been targeting or competing against. But Kevin and Randy have been stuck in this limbo of Bloodline bullshit in 2 different versions of them for the last 4 years for Kevin and for the last 2 years for Randy Orton. And even for Cody, this is starting to get old and tired. But even in this new rendition of the Bloodline, they are even more vicious and more violent than Roman and his cousins, the Usos, were. In this case, the power has gone to Solo's head for the tribal chief, and his faction or his enforcers, his foot soldiers, are even more deadly as his right hand man, the MFT, Tama Tonga, and then of course his partner and brother Tongaloa. And then you have the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, probably one of the most dangerous Samoan wrestlers in WWE history. And he definitely has one of the best skill sets of all of his family in terms of his wrestling moveset. With that being said, Randall, Cody, and Kevin got a true battle on their hands because any 3 of the 4 Bloodline members in this match is a dangerous combination, especially when one of them is Jacob Fatu. I don't know exactly who's going to win in this, but I would imagine it would have to be the Bloodline to solidify themselves as a true threat to Cody's crown and to anybody who comes up against them. The top 3 superstars on SmackDown are Cody, Randall, and Kevin. Now, if they manage to beat the Bloodline and take them down a peg, I would imagine that the only other thing left to do would be for Randy to turn on Cody Rhodes and begin his story arc of trying to beat Cody Rhodes for that championship and become the Viper once more. But I don't know. There's many ways that this storyline could play out. That still could happen even with the bloodline winning, but it just seems it would be all the nastier if they won the match and Randy still turned on Cody. With all that being said, we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, the big kahuna match is the World Heavyweight Championship is up for grabs. Former champion Seth freaking Rollins went out on an injury at last year's Mania, well, this year's Mania, 2 months ago. And now he's back 100% and ready to go. But Damian Priest is a fighting champion. And of course, he's not going to give up his seat just that easily. These two men have a gentleman's bet attached to their match. Not only will the winner receive the World Heavyweight Championship, but if Seth freaking Rollins wins, then Damian Priest must leave the Judgment Day and truly stand on his own 2 feet. But if Damian Priest wins, then Seth freaking Rollins can never challenge as the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian Priest is champion. This is going to be a wild ride, but I am very curious as to how it's going to play out. The Money in the Bank ladder matches are always fun and interesting to watch. And the good part about the Money in the Bank ladder matches is that they are truly being used now to build new stars and to put them in positions where they now can solidify themselves in history, but also have a superior chance of becoming champion. Let's start off with the women. Starting off in the top left-hand corner. Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark, and Chelsea all have a chance or a strong shot at becoming Miss Money in the Bank and taking whoever is champion their title away. Whether it be Liv Morgan or Bayley, they have an opportunity to solidify themselves in history and become women's champion. Whether it be World Women's Champion or WWE Champion, it's totally up to them. I have 3 potential winners in this match. And it's going to sound crazy. But Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Chelsea are probably my favorites in this particular match in order to win. Mainly because Tiffany Stratton seems to be a big favorite of the executives and she is always booked in some kind of way. But Naomi is my favorite. She's my lead out. She's the one that I genuinely want to win and I believe should win. I don't think her cash in should be failed either, as most people say that it should be. But I definitely think that Naomi should win and that she should be used strategically, especially if they plan on turning Naomi heel at some point. Let the briefcase be the reason why that happens. And then you have Chelsea Green, somebody who's entertaining and she's fun to watch. She's loud, and letting her have that briefcase will be annoying but interesting because you'll never know how she's going to use it or when she'll wield it. But eventually Chelsea will. And if Chelsea gets the opportunity to be champion, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. But those are my 3 picks to win. I don't think Zoe Stark is going to win Money in the Bank. And I'll tell you this, if she does, I hope her cash in is a failed cash in. Not going to lie to you. Not going to lie at all. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match is probably going to be the most interesting because I believe CM Punk has not forgotten, nor is he just going to lay down and let Drew McIntyre get the Money in the Bank and win and become champion. He ain't going to do that. So I believe that Drew McIntyre is going to be taking out the race before it even begins. My person to win in this match is going to be LA Knight. From left to right, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and Andrade are all competing in the men's Money in the Bank. I saw a lot of people complaining about these Money in the Bank ladder matches, how they felt like there wasn't enough star power in the match. But it seems like in each Money in the Bank ladder match, they picked 2 big enough stars in each match to field out, but also to give the budding superstars an opportunity to really shine and be at the top of the mountain, at least for one PLE. In this case, they have at least 3 major superstars from the roster and then 3 budding superstars on the roster. They have a noob in Carmelo Hayes, a vet in Chad Gable, and they have another vet, but still, ground swelling noob in terms of people wanting to, see what Andrade is capable of beyond what they saw his first go round, and of course what he's been doing now. Chad Gable is still trying to make his singles career be meaningful in terms of gaining a championship. So this could be a very interesting opportunity for him. And for Carmelo Hayes, for him to gain Money in the Bank on his first year on the main roster, that's a massive nod from the company. And it also is a big nod to his inflated ego. Then you have LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Jey Uso. All three are fan favorites and well-established superstars. My pick for the men's match is most definitely LA Knight. LA Knight needs to be the one to win. He also needs to be the one to cash in on whoever is champion and become champion. I think that LA Knight is the guy. If LA can't win, I wouldn't mind it being Andrade or giving it to Jey Uso. I think that either of those choices would be great. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Money in the Bank, and that was Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty straightforward show. The matches that they gave us were fairly long, but they did give us some in-between stuff that we got to watch and see. Okay? So, I hope you guys enjoyed my recap of the Monday Night Raw show. It was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I did skip over the Wyatt family's last tape, but essentially what Bo Dallas was saying was that he didn't want to be forgotten. He is taking the torch and he's going to continue his brother's legacy. And he is going to make sure that everybody in his family will never be forgotten and abandoned again. He spoke on things that the fans had been addressing online over and over again. He talked about it. And then you realize that the conversations he's been having are literally with himself. And then he vanishes and he's gone. And we're still left with more questions than answers. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how all of that plays out. So, with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow after NXT, and we'll talk more about everything. But NXT Heatwave is already booked and ready to roll, and we'll talk about that as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Bye.